Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We are your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Leah's going to look at the camera. I've been asking her to do that when I do the introduction, to smile at you like she's very happy that you're here. Today is May 16th, 2017. We want to bring you Trump's speech, but before we do, we want to take you to Jesse Waters went to Liberty University, which, as Leah was saying a little bit ago, this is kind of home for us.
Yeah,
Not the college, but these college students that are not snowflakes, they do exist. And that's, you know.
Yeah, these are the kind of kids that I would have gone to school with. That I would have taught in youth group. So smart kids, good kids, loving, kind kids. And so I wanted to give you an idea of the young people that Trump was giving his speech to, because it'll mean more.
Yes.
When you know the kind of young people that he was giving this really awesome, like, I want you to watch the whole speech. It was fantastic. It was moving. It gave me goosebumps. Probably one of the best speeches Trump has ever given.
Hands down.
Liberty University President Jerry Falwell Jr. said it was the best speech that they'd ever had. They've had so many amazing speakers there.
And I love that they got the President of the United States to come. Good for them.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in and for the people who care about you. Carry yourself with dignity and pride. Demand the best from yourself and be totally unafraid to challenge entrenched interests and failed power structures. Does that sound familiar, by the way? The more people tell you it's not possible, that it can't be done, the more you should be absolutely determined to prove them wrong. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider. Embrace that label. Being an outsider is fine. Embrace the label. Because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference.
President Trump speaking today to the class of 2017 at Liberty University, telling graduates how they can make America great again. When we heard the president chose Liberty to give his commencement speech, I went down there to talk to the students. Tell me what Liberty is all about.
Training champions for Christ.
Training champions?
Yeah.
You eating your Wheaties?
Maybe.
Liberty is about serving others through Christ. Not much for party college, but that's what you should expect being a Christian university.
There's no alcohol here?
Most people can't drink here because they're not 21, so why would there be?
More booze from
Well, why would there be
Beer every 7 minutes till somebody passes out, and then bring one every 10 minutes, right?
How devout of a Christian do you believe Trump is?
I'm not too sure. Lots of marriages. But who am I really to judge?
President Trump, do you think he's a true believer?
He says that he is, and I can't see his heart, so I'm going to say I believe his word.
I can see why it's hard to believe that. His abrasiveness, his comments, things like that.
Trump says The Art of the Deal is the second best book behind the Bible.
My second favorite book of all time. What's my first favorite book? The Bible.
President Trump speaking at commencement at Liberty.
Yes.
Tell me how you feel about that.
I like him. I like the guy. I liked him early on, especially when he made fun of Jeb Bush. I thought that was hilarious.
Low energy Jeb.
Yes, low energy Jeb.
I didn't want to. Yeah, okay. Not take more energy tonight. I like that.
Took shots at Sleepy Ben Carson.
Ben Carson is lower energy than Jeb, if you want to know the truth.
And Lying Ted. Don't forget about that.
Yes.
I've given my answer, Lion Ted. I've given my answer.
I think it's awesome that the president is speaking at my commencement. Honestly, I would be pumped if President Obama was speaking at the commencement.
You know who spoke at my commencement? Joe Lieberman. I fell asleep. What are you expecting him to say at commencement?
He's always unpredictable, so that's what I enjoy.
I don't think he knows either. Do you know who I am?
I have no idea.
You're not.
Do you have any idea who I am?
Yeah, you're Jesse Waters.
And this is your world right here.
So, I don't know.
Awesome. They just seem like really fun kids, you know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
So we do talk about the college age snowflakes, and we get a lot of flack about that from you guys sometimes. Like, you're always picking on the college kids. No, we're picking on a certain demographic of, not really, demographic's not the right word, but just, you know.
So their fault. They were raised to be.
But these kids were a lot of times raised in a wholesome upbringing.
Christian home.
With the Bible.
They were raised in a Christian home. Let's just say it. Yes.
You just said
in a lot of respects when they're raising their kids.
Meaning you saw how these kids were really lively and happy and joyful. And sometimes when we go to the liberal universities, we see death
And the,
in their
and
eyes.
the Antifa and the craziness. You know, I just kind of.
See, here's the thing. So we show a lot of videos, right, where you'll have kind of a conservative type person going to a college, and then I don't remember what different things we've shown, and then they wear something or do something that says whatever. And then you have the college students come and they yell explicitives at them and they tell them how stupid they are. I would actually really love to see a video, I should do it myself, to go to a liberal, to go to a conservative college and present a liberal idea and see the reaction. You would probably have students that would come up, but they would try to kind of convince you and have a nice conversation. They wouldn't just yell
They were taught
explicitives at
manners.
you. Exactly.
Manners.
Yes, they were. We always quote Ebenezer Scrooge from A Christmas Carol.
What a
Delightful young men. At the end, after he gets saved and the kid comes and he's, go get me the turkey. Y'all know the story. If you don't, then...
Don't be offended, atheists. I'm just saying that kids raised in a Christian home, in a good Christian home with good Christian morals, tend to be able to think clearer.
Yes, and they tend to be more respectful. Because you saw that girl, she's like, I would be really pumped if even Obama was speaking at my commencement speech, even though she's not pro-Obama. So they're just kind of, they're just happy-go-lucky, respectful.
But this is this great speech. We're not going to show all, but I'm going to show you this awesome part here.
I'm sure many of you saw it already, but it's worth rewatching.
Living, nothing worth doing ever came easy. Following your convictions means you must be willing to face criticism from those who lack the same courage to do what is right, and they know what is right, but they don't have the courage or the guts or the stamina to take it and to do it. It's called the road less traveled. I know that each of you will be a warrior for the truth, will be a warrior for our country and for your family. I know that each of you will do what is right, not what is the easy way, and that you will be true to yourself and your country and your beliefs. In my short time in Washington, I've seen firsthand how the system is broken. A small group of failed voices who think they know everything and understand everyone want to tell everybody else how to live and what to do and how to think. But you aren't going to let other people tell you what you believe, especially when you know that you're right. And those of you graduating here today who have given 500,000 hours of charity last year alone, unbelievable amount of work and charity, and few universities or colleges can claim anything even close. We don't need a lecture from Washington on how to lead our lives. I'm standing here looking at the next generation of American leaders. There may very well be a president or two in our midst. Anybody think they're going to be president? Raise your hand. In your hearts are inscribed the values of service, sacrifice, and devotion. Now you must go forth into the world and turn your hopes and dreams into action. America has always been the land of dreams because America is a nation of true believers. When the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth, they prayed. When the founders wrote the Declaration of Independence, they invoked our Creator 4 times. Because in America, we don't worship government, we worship God.
That has been the line that's been going around.
I'm going to that is indelibly ingrained in my mind now.
I'm in America.
It's quotable.
We don't worship the government.
We worship God.
Oh, money!
I love it.
It's pretty powerful. It's so powerful.
That is why our elected officials put their hands on the Bible and say, "So help me God,"
Yes.
as they take the oath of office. It is why our currency proudly declares, "In God we trust." And it's why we proudly proclaim that we are one nation under God every time we say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Except for you can't say it in public schools anymore. There is that.
The story of America is the story of an adventure that began with deep faith, big dreams, and humble beginnings. That is also the story of Liberty University. When I think about the vision...
So he goes on, and I wanted to put...
We will link to this so you can finish watching it for those of you that might have missed it.
I want to play this, speaking of Liberty University, some funny little clips. He teased Jerry Falwell Jr. like throughout the whole speech. He does that. He's very personable.
Right.
You know, he said the names of everybody in his family. You know, he says wife name, stand up. You know, I don't know.
President Jerry Falwell, it is packed, Jerry. I don't know, Jerry. I'm going to have to think about that one, Jerry. Oh, no, Jerry. This could be trouble, Jerry. Jerry, are you sure you know what you're doing? Jerry Auburn. That's a tough one, Jerry. You'll be beating a lot of teams, Jerry. And Jerry, I did it. Because I've been a friend of Liberty for a long time now, Jerry. Congratulations on a great job, Jerry.
That's awesome.
This was funny. I just thought it was funny. Jerry,
It is.
Jerry.
They teach you that you should use people's names. It's very helpful. I go to the grocery store a lot of times and I like to look at the name tag of the person that is checking me out and refer to them by their name. It's just a polite thing to do.
And this is so epic. It was such a wonderful speech. I don't want to end on a sad note or a negative note, but I have to bring you this Vanity Fair article. Vanity Fair, they're the one that had Caitlyn Jenner on the front, you know, as like a he, she.
Hang on. Pilgrim's Progress plug. Do we know where the name Vanity Fair came from?
Yeah.
If you haven't read Pilgrim's Progress, it's the greatest selling book of all times next to the Bible. John Bunyan. Read it, listen to it. You will find out where.
It was a place of licentiousness
It
and
was-
empty-headedness.
Exactly.
So anyways, they said the most pathetic part of Trump's Liberty University speech. So we loved the speech.
Yes, we did.
And it was a great speech. And anybody could have written an article with something positive. But they had to find something negative. Okay? They had to find something negative. So they called him the complainer-in-chief, lashed out at his critics. Now his critics returned the favor. So they didn't see God in it. They didn't see hope in it. They didn't see how the Liberty University is graduating so many
Students that have contributed to like volunteer hours, like he
well,
mentioned.
there's volunteer hours, but also service people.
Yeah.
Military people, he honored them. A lot of military people went
But
to
they're not
university.
going to address the accomplishments of the college graduates. They're
Right.
just going to rip Trump a new one.
Exactly.
Or an old one.
Yeah, that's funny. So they said he's got thin skin, and their big beef was no one has ever achieved anything significant without a chorus of critics standing on the sidelines explaining why it can't be done. Nothing is easier or more pathetic than being a critic because they're the people that can't get the job done. Now,
That's what Trump said.
everybody in the news media decided that that was a hint towards them.
Well, probably because it was, and they know when people are talking about them because it's true.
But here's the thing. The people that they pulled out were art critics and things like that. And you need critics. You know what? They're just saying those who can't do, teach.
Yeah.
And those who can't do tend to just sit there
Criticize.
and criticize people. As journalism isn't being a critic. Journalism is bringing forth a story.
Right.
And then kind of fleshing out the story.
Right.
Whichever way it
Whatever
goes.
the truth is. Because
But
when we bring you the truth and
They've
it's positive,
decided
you're not criticizing
that their
it.
job is to criticize Trump.
Yes.
100% all day long, 24/7.
And you know what? You've all been around people like that are constantly negative and they can never say anything positive and they actually literally feel like, and these are just everyday people, not journalists, you have them in your family, that feel like it is their job to call out all of your faults just because they're going to make you a better person that
They
way.
say critics, by and large, analyze and evaluate on the basis of fact, deep research, and an enviable depth of historical and practical knowledge.
Enviable.
It goes on to say, this is Andres Santo, former director of the now defunct National Arts Journalism Program. So he's
At Columbia University.
it's failed, and now he's not there anymore, but he has to say, in the world of arts and artists, we welcome criticism because it validates and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? Your art critics throwing poop on the wall and paint with like 5-year-olds and finger paint calling it art. You need better critics. Okay, I'm going to criticize your critics. So anyways, I wanted to kind of just bring this to your attention, that this is how the mainstream media painted his awesome speech,
Right.
which I want to play over and over again. We don't trust in government, we trust in God, over and over again. It's so powerful. So
Yep. All right, you guys. So, was it trust or worship or
worship. You're right, worship.
This is a quotable quote. You're going to have it.
Worship is trust and obey.
It is. All right, you guys. So, bravo, Trump, for bringing this speech to the American people. What I love about Trump is that when he gets the opportunity, especially at a place like Liberty University, where he pretty much has free reign to say whatever he wants, and he does, he's giving the American people who voted for him what they want.
There was one more line in here, and I'd have to fast forward to find it, where he says, while I'm president, you can say what you want about your faith, and you will not be persecuted for your faith.
That's amazing.
To a group
and it should go without
Christians
saying.
who, yeah.
Because Christians are one of the biggest persecuted groups in the world.
Right.
And so Trump's calling it out, and I really appreciate that. So
This, you know what though?
Christian phobia.
it is.
Christian phobia. Everything Christian is a phobia. But since Trump, I really felt like a door is open for Christians to just be Christians again.
Right.
We're not bigoted. We're not racist. We love people. We're kind. We're generous. These kids give. They wake up. That's why I love these Liberty University kids, because I know these kids. They were my friends growing up. I mean, they give. They're kind. They reach out to people.
Right.
Okay, these are the kids I went to, to college with. And yeah, we could talk about theological things.
Well,
here
that's
and
not
there,
important.
But the essence of these people are good, kind, giving, loving people.
Right.
And so yeah, I think it's going to be nice to be a Christian again in America.
I hope so.
Whew, and be able to be Christian again.
Yes. Okay, you guys, this is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it is not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the little bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We love you. God loves you.
I wanted to say one more
God
thing.
bless.
The thought that was going through my brain was, this is Donald Trump at his best.
Yeah.
This is his zone. This is where he feels right, because I feel like he feels the anointing on him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he feels the power of God on him. And a lot of the other things, like with the Syrian strike or the missile strikes or different things like that, he's out of his zone. He's not in where he needs to be.
Right.
So I'm going to give him some grace in a lot of areas, because he got the deep state.
Well, to kind of bring that down to a more personal level, Leah and I started Resistance Chicks, and we have wheelhouses that you guys know.
Right.
You can feel it when we get into them, when it comes to GMOs, when it comes to this sort of thing, like where we know when it comes to history and when it comes to the Federal Reserve, like we know this stuff, okay? When it comes to the deep state, things like that. Then we get out of our element when we range into other countries. And a lot of you guys come back and say Bangladesh is not in India, it is its own country. And we're like, yeah, we knew that, but then at the time when we were doing it, we kind of didn't, and we slipped over it. But so you call us out on that when we're out of our element. We do the very best that we can to research the articles before we bring them to you. But I have no problem relying upon our viewers and sources that we trust explicitly to make up for areas where we're lacking.
Right.
Okay, and Trump does that too, but unfortunately, some of the people in his circle that he's trusting in aren't to be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think that's definitely, that's the best way to sum Trump up. If I could sum Trump up to somebody who voted for him and now they're questioning him, this speech lets me know he's not gone.
Yeah.
He's not gone anywhere. This was the power God was all over. This was the most powerful speech I've seen him give in a really long time.
Right.
This is where he got to flow and be himself. He was with a packed house. They never had this many people come ever.
well, of
Filled
course,
this
because you have the
entire
president
stadium.
coming. That's so great.
And everybody there felt it. Everybody.
Right.
Jerry Falwell came back and said he talked to alumni, he talked to students, and they were all pumped. They said it was the best speech. Everybody was so excited. This was so powerful, and Trump was Trump.
Right.
So keep praying for him, because I
Yes.
think he can make some really great moves and some really great strategies when he stays in this zone.
Yes, absolutely. But
Hire
sometimes
some Liberty University kids, Trump.
you're president and you have to deal with Syria and you have to deal with Russia.
Exactly.
You can't just stay in your wheelhouse. And Resistance Chicks has to bring you the news from everywhere, and we rely on you guys for keeping us on the straight and narrow. So, all right, so we just signed off. I think that's the end. We're going to just go. Now we keep doing that. It was like a PS. It's an addendum.
Addendum.
Okay.
I was cold.